Opening statement from Coach Tom Pecora, and then we will take questions for the players, dismiss the players, and then questions for Coach Pecora. So, Tom.
Well, it was very similar to the game we played down there a few weeks ago. We were challenged. We knew Eric wasn't going to be 100%. That's 18 points a game for us, so all the guys had to step up. But I think it was quite fitting that Bryan, being a senior and being a few miles from home, being Brooklyn through and through, Midwood High School, and all of those things, and being our lone senior, for him to make the plays he made. I told him I loved him so much after he had that crazy turnover. I still ran a play for him after that, and best offense to get the ball. But and then for Christian, because this is very close to Munich as well. There's a couple good German restaurants Christian can go to around here. So once again, we're a young team with 7 freshmen, but Bryan Smith, the job Bryan has done throughout the year, whether he's played well or he hasn't, he's always been a steady force. He's been tremendous in practice. He's great in the locker room. And the job that he has done has really allowed Christian and Eric to mature a lot quicker than some of our freshmen have in the past, because they've had great leaders with Bryan Smith and Ryan Canty, who's out for the year but will be back next year as a 5th-year senior. So, it was just one of those games where we couldn't get that separation. We talked about playing better defense, but in the second half they were drilling some shots. We wound up, we always, one of our game goals is always to win the battle of the boards. And we did by 2, and Thompson, he's a beast, man. So, I mean, he's really, really difficult to prep for, and we threw 3 or 4 different defensive schemes at him with different people going and doubling him on the catch, doubling him on after he dribbled, doubling him big on big, guard on big. So yeah, we just kept him off balance, and I think that was a key for us.
All right, questions for the players, Bryan Smith and Christian Sengfelder.
Bryan, you're the team's elder statesman. You've been through some ups and some downs. How satisfying is it to get an A10 tournament win for the 2nd year in a row?
It's satisfying. It's satisfying. We played the same team 2 years in a row, and to get them both times is a great feeling. We worked hard to get wins, and we had some ones that we should have had, and we lost close games, but this is very satisfying.
Other question?
Bryan, just
hold on, wait for the mic, please.
Bryan, you and Chris have had chemistry all year round. Did you see a performance in a big game coming from a guy like this who really wasn't highly touted, but you noticed from the beginning that this kid was going to be special?
Definitely. Chris, he works hard every day. That's his demeanor. He's always a hard worker. He's a good guy. I know one of these games is going to happen sooner or later.
I appreciate it.
Chris, I'm just going to ask you, you were driving the basket early in the game and you made 10 out of 13 field goals. Just tell us about your shooting game.
Could you say the last part again, please?
Just about your game shooting the ball tonight.
I don't follow that at all when I'm playing. I just want to make some baskets, want to have the team win. If I shoot 10 out of 13 we win, I'm happy. If, I shoot 5 out of 11 we win, it's fine too. I'm just trying to have the team win.
Hey Chris, was your first Atlantic 10 tournament game everything you thought it would be, and maybe even more?
It's great to win an A10 game and then win a tournament in the Barclays Center and NBA Stadium. It's a great feeling. Happy to be here. I'm blessed to be here. I like it.
Christian, did you feel any additional pressure with knowing that Eric wouldn't be 100% tonight?
I'm trying to go into games without having pressure at all, just trying to take the pressure off me. We played the last 2 games without Eric, and we lost both games, so it was a little bit of pressure on me and on the team as well to kind of compensate that Eric is out. But as I said, I try to get into the game without pressure, without any thoughts in my mind, just play the game.
Christian, you have a great game, scored 27 points, but how do you turn this around and prepare for VCU tomorrow?
Watch film, talk to coaches. I'm working really closely with Coach Morton. I work with him, as Bryan said, after every practice, and we talk a lot about how the opponent is, how I can play him. Talk to him, I talk to Coach Pecora, Coach Parada, everybody, just try to find some weak spots maybe. I don't know. We figure it out.
Bryan, is there, as the elder statesman, what do you tell the freshmen on the team about tournament play? What's different than your regular A10 game?
mean, I tell them that it's much more intense. I mean, from the jump, from tip off to when the clock hits 0, 0, 0. I mean, that's not much the difference right there. I mean, I tell them it's more intense. That's it.
Bryan, as a Brooklyn native, you saw Brandon last year get a win. You know, being a local guy here, doing it again, getting a nice win in your hometown. You know, what's that feeling like?
It's a great feeling. I mean, I had a lot of friends and family here cheering me on, cheering the team on. I mean, I'm glad I get to win in front of them, especially down the like 10 minutes away from here. That's why I live.
Anybody else for the players? All right.
Thanks,
guys.
Thank you.
You see they're both dragging the coach, no fun.
Questions for Coach Pecora?
Tom, 2 years in a row now with an A10 tournament win. What does that say to some of the critics that may feel the rebuild is a little slow?
Well, look, you know, it is what it is. I think that when you look at Eric being rookie of the year, Christian being on the all-rookie team, you know, you have bookends at the 3 and 4 spot. We have Canty and Rooms coming back next year to play 5. Mandel, who's basically been playing the point guard spot for about a month. You know, a whole spring, summer under his belt and fall next year as he prepares. So you have a senior point guard, and then Bryan, the only one leaving. So I think the future's bright. But you know, that's the way I've always looked at things. No matter how the season goes with teams, very rarely have I come out of a season and I said, you know, this team's in trouble for next year. You know what I complimented them on, and you guys have heard me say this before. We had our 88th practice yesterday, and they had 3 bad practices all year. So for a group of this many young people to just go out and compete like that every day and not lay an egg at speeds and volumes, they just never quit. They believe in themselves. They really do. And a lot of it comes from these 2 guys, from Mendo, Ryan Rooms, you know, energetic. But I just can't shake Mason. It's like, you know, I've been with him for so many years now, from my years in the CAA and everything we went through in 2006, and then to continue to play them. And it just seems like every year in the A10 tournament we'll get them. So we've gotten them rather. So now we'll just start preparing for VCU, and you know, we'll be up watching film. We'll get ready for that when we get back there.
Coach, you said recently that Eric and Christian have a really great relationship with the 2 freshmen. How fitting was it that with Eric less than 100%, it was Christian who stepped up and picked up his injured teammate and the rest of the team at large?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And he just, you know, once again, you hear it about a lot of kids. He just keeps getting better and better. We have a hard physical practice. I come back out 20 minutes later, he's out shooting one of the coaches. He's just got tremendous, pays attention to detail, his work ethic. I mean, I recruited him like a football coach. We watched him on film, right? And then after watching like 3 or 4 films of him, I sent Tom Pecora over to Germany, and he called and he was like, he sent back a picture of him standing next to him to show me how big he was. And he said, and Tommy's almost 6'6". He's, you know, he's big and he's good. I said, well, bring him to the Bronx. So, you know, we were able to get him in on a visit, and it's all worked out. But I'm excited about coaching him. He's a lot of fun to coach.
Coach, what's your strategy for preparing for back-to-back games with VCU coming up tomorrow? You know they full court press all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's interesting. We haven't, and I'm probably jinxing myself here. I mean, we've had some games where we had a lot of turnovers against them, but the key when we've played tight, good, close games is you just can't have live turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in the backcourt. You can't turn the ball over where it's live and they can go the other way. I'm sure they're going to be all fired up. They've been through a little bit of a rough patch. And, you know, I know Shock will have them well prepared, but, you know, it's March, it's mid-March. We know what we have to do. We know how we have to execute against that kind of pressure. And then we've got to punish them for it. You got to make some plays on the offensive end after you get by the first wave of pressure.
Coach, how different is your team? You guys lost them, I think, in January 3rd or 4th to VCU early in the year. How different is your team now versus then? How much more they matured?
Much better. I mean, when I saw the league schedule come out, I was like, I mean, we opened right out of the gate. I know we've been a young team, and January was tough. I mean, you know, we played VCU and Dayton the first 2 home games, and then we got a DW team in there, and our road games were tough, but we're more mature. We're playing with a different point guard now with Mandel. I think Christian's skill set at the 4 can be very helpful when you're attacking teams with press. So hopefully all those things come into play.
A few weeks ago when we spoke, Tom, you said that you were worried Chris was becoming too much of a 3-point shooter, but today he was efficient, 3 of 5, 10 of 13. Just talk a little about the efficiency and how the three-point shot actually worked in his favor today.
Yeah, well, I think what he did a great job of in the first half, he slipped a few screens, and, you know, he got them off balance with that, got a couple layups, you know, instead of setting the screens. So by doing that, it really softened them up around the basket. They were concerned about that, and in turn, he was able to pop and get a couple good looks. The good thing is he doesn't really force many shots. He doesn't get, honestly, I don't remember getting a three-pointer blocked this year, because he's got a great feel. You know, if somebody's going to contest it, he's not going to take it. So I think his shot selection is exceptional as well. Anything else?
Coach, just going to ask you about Mendel Thomas's steal. One was 60-54. He got the layup and the foul. That kind of kept you on a run. That kind of gave you the edge there.
Yeah, I was shocked he didn't make the all-defensive team because, you know, obviously he's not Weber, but he was second to him in steals in the conference. He's a real good defender. You know, he has total freedom to do that. In the course of what we do, you know, I let him just kind of read the quarterback, so to speak, rather, and see if he can jump the pass and go the other way. So that was a big-time play. You know, at Richmond about 3 weeks ago, in a tie game with a minute to go, we tried to jump one and he missed it by that much, and we lose the game by 3. But I told him after that, you know, you got free reign. His instincts are great, and then that was a big play for us. We were struggling at the offensive end there. We missed some free throws, and we're the best shooting free throw team in the conference. You know, we're up in 80 percentiles there. So that hurt us a little bit. All right, anybody else? All right, thank you all very much. We appreciate everything.